Michael Jordan spent 9 years refusing to lower the price of his house. Not because he was stubborn, because the number meant something. $14,855,000. Add the digits. 1, 4, 8, 5, 5, 23. He held that number for 9 years. Nobody bought it. This is a video about things nobody wants, at any price. And the further up we go, the stranger the reasons get. Here's how this works. We climb. Each thing is harder to sell than the last. And by the end, we get to a house that 6 years of buyers refused, sold in a parking lot to a man who wouldn't say his name. He listed it in February 2012 at $29 million. Cut it to $14.855 million in 2015. Then he stopped moving. 56,000 square feet. For scale, that's about 11 average American homes, except they are all stacked around one indoor basketball court, and none of them are for sale separately. The land sits behind other houses, railroad tracks, and a nature preserve. A Chicago Tribune columnist's read was that it isn't easily developable. The design aged badly too. The same columnist called it a 90s institutional look. And there's a 23 on the front gate, which is great if your name is Michael Jordan, and a renovation project if it isn't. He paid over $1.8 million in property taxes while nobody lived there. That's roughly $150,000 a year to heat a building for ghosts. 12 years on the market. It closed in December 2024 at $9.5 million, under a third of the ask. Then the buyer, a real estate executive named John Cooper, rebranded it Champions Point and started selling co-ownership shares from $1 million a week. Highland Park City Council looked at this and voted 5-0 to make it illegal. Not, we have concerns. 5-0. So the house nobody would buy finally sold. And then the town made sure the new owner couldn't use it. A house is at least a thing you can live in. The next one is a thing you're not allowed to keep. 2007. A Beverly Hills gallery auctions the skull of a Tyrannosaurus bataar. Nicolas Cage pays $276,000. He outbid Leonardo DiCaprio for it, which is either the most Nicolas Cage sentence ever written or just a Tuesday in 2007. The gallery gave him a certificate of authenticity. The skull was authentic. That was never the problem. 7 years later, Homeland Security calls. It was looted from the Gobi Desert and shipped through Japan to Florida under a false customs label. Cage was never accused of anything. He surrendered it voluntarily. A federal judge approved the transfer, and it went back to Mongolia. He never got the money back. His line about it afterward was short. Somebody at the auction house should be in jail. He spent $276,000 to rent a dinosaur head from a country that never knew it was theirs to lend. 8-year rental. No refund. That one couldn't be sold because of where it came from. This next one can't be sold because of what happened on the land. Jeff Franklin created Full House, made a fortune, and spent it on 21,000 square feet at the end of Cielo Drive in Benedict Canyon. Everything about that sentence works until you check the address. The original house on that lot was where the Manson murders happened in 1969. It was demolished in the 90s. Franklin built something entirely new. 9 bedrooms, 18 bathrooms, a koi pond, a lazy river, a 35-foot water slide, a hidden grotto. The listing agent calls it a James Bond villain's lair. The fish in the built-in aquarium are included in the sale. Franklin made sure everything connected to the original house was removed. He listed it in 2022 for $85 million. He's relisting it now for just under $50 million. $35 million of value, gone from a building that didn't exist when anything bad happened there. There's nothing to renovate. There's nothing left to remove. The only thing that survived is the address. So far, these are all buildings. This next one is a whole town. Prairie, Montana. 5 acres, 45 minutes from Yellowstone, privately owned since 1907. A working post office. Its own zip code, 59065. In 2012, the owner, a photographer named Barbara Walker, who called herself the mayor, put the whole town up for auction. Minimum bid, $100,000. For a town, with a post office. Nobody bid. You could not give this place away, and somebody tried. It sat for 6 years. In 2018, a man named Colin Burke bought it from her for roughly $600,000. He was in his late 20s. Most people that age buy a condo. He bought a municipality. He moved in, built cabins, ran the place, rode a float in the 4th of July parade as mayor. By his own estimate, he put another $600,000 into it. Then in September 2024, he listed it at $2.6 million. What he told reporters was that living remote and managing everything is tricky, which is the most diplomatic possible way to say that being the mayor of yourself is exhausting. It went under contract in 9 months and closed on August 4th, 2025. So Barbara Walker waited 6 years to find a buyer at $100,000. Burke found one in 9 months at $2.6 million. Same 5 acres, same post office, same zip code. The only thing that changed was that somebody had already proved it could make money. That's a town that took 13 years to become worth something. This last one went the other direction. Bel Air, 8.5 acres above the country club, 40,000 square feet, 60 rooms. Conrad Hilton owned it. Before him, the woman who built it spent nearly her entire fortune doing it, sold at a loss, and killed herself the following year. It was listed in 2019 for $225 million. Relisted in June 2023 for $250 million, the most expensive home for sale in America. Then $195 million, then $165 million, then $175 million, then $190 million. 4 years, 6 prices, nobody bought it. Meanwhile, entities connected to the owner, telecom billionaire Gary Winnick, had borrowed against Casa Encantada and a Malibu house starting in 2020, roughly $155 million. Gary died in 2023. The lender, CIM Group, co-founded by Gary's longtime friend Richard Ressler, filed notice of sale. In court papers, Karen Winnick called it a loan-to-own scheme that would leave her effectively destitute. She said she hadn't known the terms of the loan until after her husband died. She asked for a restraining order to stop the auction. A judge denied it. Her appeals bought 7 months. July 4th, 2026. Pomona Civic Center Plaza, 30 miles east of Los Angeles. Behind a fountain. At 11 in the morning, the court auctioneer Anna Haley sat down in a folding camp chair, wearing denim pedal pushers and a baseball hat. A small group gathered. Representatives for the lender were there, and a blond man dressed in black had come to bid. He declined to identify himself. At 11:44, she opened the bidding at $125 million. The lender and the man in black went up in $1 million increments. It stopped at $130 million. Going once, going twice. Then she turned to him and said, "You need to pay me so I can say, sold." He opened a cardboard envelope and handed her cashier's checks. Afterward, Haley said she did not know that she had ever sold anything for $130 million before. The Malibu house went in the same hour. The Winnick's 3 sons had been given it. The lender took it back with a $20 million credit bid. The Winnicks paid $94 million for Casa Encantada in 2000. It was the most expensive house ever sold in America. They asked $250 million. Nobody said yes. Not at $250 million, not at $195 million, not at $165 million. It sold for $130 million in a plaza, out of a cardboard envelope, to a man who would not say his name.